All right. I hope everybody had a good week. Uh, Let me start off by I am a creature of habit. I make coffee at night. I let it brew. So when I wake up, it's already there. I didn't do it last night. We had 50 kids at our house last night for a meeting, and all high school kids. And so I did not make coffee. And it was fortuitous. Inda Coffee had their truck right outside the office this morning. So thanks to Nick and Inda for having a coffee truck literally outside the office door. So a batch brew and a shot of espresso does me good in the morning. So anyway, cheers to y'all. Happy Friday. Man, what an awesome Friday. I don't know of a more pleasant surprise after a record day at CAE temperature wise yesterday, 97 degrees, to wake up this morning. It felt like fall, which is, some would say this is the first day of fall. I would argue it's the hug of vegetarian day or redhead appreciation day. Yes. But any of those will work. But the first day of fall, it is official. So glad y'all are with us this morning. Couple things to note, and then I want to hear from y'all. Feds, we talked about this last week, what was coming. Actually, they surprised us. The Fed raised its rates by 3/4 of a point, not a full point, but 3/4 of a point, which was interesting move yesterday, which is the highest rates have been since 2007. But more importantly, it's the largest rate increase we've seen in 1 year since in the early 80s. So we'll see if that does what the Fed needs to slow down the economy a little bit. It's a game of chicken and the egg. I mean, which is going to come first, right? We're going to have inflation's trying to get tamed. Gas prices are coming down a little bit hopefully for a while, but we'll see. But it is going to impact us all. Where we're seeing this play out with still gas prices that are still high. Inflation was a little bit lower. We talked about that already, but FedEx announced is raising its rates by 6.9%, which is due to labor cost, fuel cost, etc. So others, I'm sure, will follow suit. But FedEx jumping about almost 7% is big. Let's see. There's not much talk about in DC right now. Congress is back in session, but they're not doing anything. In fact, they're not going to do anything for the next month until after the election. So you're going to see we've got some spending bills that need to be approved. You're going to see continuing resolutions is the name of the game to get through next month's 6 weeks before the election, 5 weeks, whatever it is. I will say this. We were talking to our lobbyists up in DC last week, and the prediction is that the continuing resolutions will pass and get through the election. And then I think you're going to see an active Congress in November and December, depending on what happens on election day. We'll figure out who's in control and what happens, but looks like still the House will flip. But if that's the case, there'll be more people willing to get stuff done and negotiate while the current leadership is still in place. So we'll see how that plays out. But there's going to be a lot of what's the good word to use? Hot air coming out of DC over the next 6 weeks to pontificate on either side with no action. How's that? So basically nothing changes, right? But we'll see. It'll be kind of boring to watch, quite frankly. Locally, want to congratulate dear friend Bruce Bannister from Greenville for becoming chairman of Ways and Means Committee. Bruce was elected when former Speaker David Wilkins was chosen to become the ambassador to Canada. And Bruce was a young attorney then. Now he's not a young attorney, he's an older attorney. That does happen, by the way, but Bruce is a good, smart fella. Went to Davidson, played football at Davidson actually, and has worked his way up, but he he'll do a good job as chairman of Ways and Means. So excited for him. We'll see what happens. I do expect some changes in leadership. Again, we've got a new speaker, Merle Smith from Sumter, Bruce, new chairman from, and it's a younger generation, which is kind of cool to see. But I do suspect some other changes at the State House as far as leadership positions go. Shout out to Ted Creech and the folks at DOT. Great press conference yesterday. Good headlines in the paper today on the widening of 26. Fully 60% complete, and they're ahead of schedule and expected to be 26, not Carolina Crossroads / Malfunction Junction, but from past there, I guess, from Peak exit all the way out to exit 85, I guess, should be done by next December. Ted, is that accurate?
I think it'd be December 24.
Yeah, so next year.
Is subject to check, but yeah.
There was a little.
We have a great team. We have a great team working on that project. It's been a very good and smooth project. And interestingly, the contractors out there, Archer, Western, and ICE, they actually have on-site HR office to hire folks, and so vast majority of folks working on that project are from South Carolina, and so it's going well though. So
if you break down the side of the road, you could go get a job.
right. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's brilliant. Hey, Tara, take note. New way to hire people, right? That's great. No, that really is exciting because I travel up and down that way quite a bit, and I was even commenting last week, said, man, they're making great progress. So it's good to see they're 60% complete. And now we're still 2034 is when the expected completion of the entire Carolina Crossroads. So we got a ways to go there, but they're making big progress there on the Colonial Life Exchange. If y'all have not driven out there, you won't recognize it, but that is tax dollars at work, federal dollars at work, and a good shot in the arm by the feds that helped us move forward. So thanks to DOT for that, but I really, that is kind of good news. But for those from Peak to Columbia, it'll be 6 lanes from Peak out towards Prosperity, 8 lanes from Columbia all the way out to Peak, which is exit 97. All right, good stuff. There was a good write-up in Cola today about CAE, the Columbia Airport. I want to give a plug. I met with the airport officials with the mayor this week to talk about ways that we can attract a low-cost airline. Now that sounds like a broken record. We've tried this for at least 2 decades, maybe more, but I do think now's the time. There's an old adage of if you don't use it, you lose it. And we're going to have to do a campaign, not only to the business community, but to folks around Columbia, that we've got a gym with CAE, and we need to take advantage of its location and its pricing since it's cheaper to park there, but flights tend to be a little higher. And but there's a lot of throughput. They're about 83% right now back to where they were pre-pandemic. And a lot of that is business travels down, but leisure travels back up, so that, which is good. Let me tell you, losing more flights would be a huge burden for us. So we need to use it. If y'all fly, and be the first to admit it, that I have to look at the price, and if there's a differential, as a nonprofit, I got to be cognizant of that. But if it's close, between the travel time, my time, parking cost to fly to CAE, please use it. But we are looking at it's going to be a team sport, by the way. We're going to draw in a lot of folks to try to help us, but we've got to push CAE and what they do. But it is a great airport. It's easy. It's little thought, right? You park, you go in, boom, and plane's there, you go. So we need to use it. But thanks, Anna, for throwing that up there. But 5 reasons to fly out of Columbia, and just put it in the box, but it's good things to do. So a couple things to note. We had a great turnout last night at Adventure. Thanks to Adventure for hosting us. Frank, appreciate it very much. We had a great time, and that's a cool place. So thank you, many of those that came out. Tara, I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to catch up with you, but it was good to see you. We also had big news released yesterday. We had our Ambassador of the Year was announced. We're pleased to honor David Pankow from Blue Cross Blue Shield for his years at the helm of Blue Cross. David retired back in July, but he was probably one of the smartest guys I've ever met, period, but is a great ambassador for this community, and did a ton. Never once wanted his name in the press, so I was pleasantly surprised that he allowed us to honor him, if I'm being honest, but thrilled that we get to do that. But I really want to give a shout out to him. We're going to be honoring him in our gala 2 weeks from yesterday on October 6th. But David led Blue Cross through a tumultuous time. He took over in 2010, right during the ACA conversation, and but he really expanded Blue Cross, diversified the company in ways that they've never seen, and made them, I tell you what, they are the beast in Columbia, 15,000 employees, but more importantly, their impact, everybody in here on this call is touched by Blue Cross in some way, some fashion, whether it's insurance or not, but their philanthropic side is huge, and they have a great responsibility, and they recognize that, and they're which is kind of cool that they support every organization that I know of in Columbia. So David Pankow will be honored. We're excited about that. Others award winners will be released next week. That's called a teaser, and so just throw that out there. We'll announce that first of next week. All right, couple things to note. As I mentioned earlier, it is phenomenally beautiful outside, but it also is active season. Fiona wreaked havoc in in the islands. It's still going by the Bahamas today and whipping up a storm. Puerto Rico got pummeled, but Invest 98L, how did they come up with those names? Whatever, I'm sure there's thought for it, but be on the lookout next week. We're going to see some impact, it looks like, from that storm, but it's tracking the Gulf of Florida next week, and we've been very quiet this hurricane season. I'm knocking, but we've been fortunate this year. But this week was the anniversary of Hugo, and I'm very aware of Hugo. I was a freshman in college when Hugo hit Charleston. That was 1989. Dating myself, but anyway, y'all keep an eye out that, especially if you're traveling. But the Gulf Coast side is going to feel it next week. So just but anyway, this weekend there's a lot to do. Tom, I'm stealing some thunder for you, but y'all got a volleyball game, a soccer game, softball game all weekend. That sounds fun.
Soccer's traveling this weekend, so you'll have to do a road trip, but volleyball tonight at 6:30. We'll see everybody there.
Road trip, men's soccer, women's soccer road trip, and softball. But it's a great game. It's a great time to be outside. Clemson playing Wake Forest. Carolina's playing Charlotte. I'm excited. I loaded up on firewood this week. I am ready for a little cooler weather to be outside and enjoy it. All right. I hope I didn't steal all your thunder. What else we got going on? What can I hear from y'all?
Hey, Carl, real good news last night. The CDC took Richland County down from high to medium on community transmission. And in fact, there's no high in South Carolina. Only 6 states are medium, and the majority of the state is low. So that's great news. And the other thing, Invest 98L is now Tropical Depression 9, and National Hurricane Center has it around the Tampa area on Wednesday. We'll see. Cross your fingers.
Cross fingers. Yeah, about and preliminary numbers looks like it's a Cat 3 when it gets by Tampa next week. So watch out. The tropical waters are very warm and ripe. So everybody pay attention. And if you need, hey, if you feel like giving blood, I'm sure Rebecca will take it. Getting ready for storms is important.
Absolutely. And, you know, I think the Queen's funeral kind of took away a little bit of the coverage of the hurricane and what's going on in Puerto Rico. Over 60% are still without power, and 33% still without water. So just keep them in your thoughts and prayers, and any support is greatly appreciated.
Thanks, Rebecca. All right, what else is going on today?
Well, education is workforce development, and we teach the teachers because we all agree that K-12 really matters. And so we were also really proud this last week. We announced we are the first, Columbia College is the first teacher education program in South Carolina to be recognized by the Department of Labor's apprenticeship program. You know, we call it things like internship, practicum, and student teaching, but for the Department of Labor, that counts as apprenticeship. And so we're really pleased to see that kind of government recognition of the important role that higher education plays in workforce, and we're proud to be a partner in that.
Good, congratulations. That's good. That's excellent. And again, this is a broken record, but we have over 6,000 graduates every year in Columbia from the 6 colleges and universities. And so we've got product. And if you got a product and you've got a great place to live, quality of life, it's attractive to companies. And that's what companies have changed. They're looking to hire and move to areas where there's talent. And we got it in spades. So that's going to be the driver for economic development for the next 10 years or so. So that's good stuff.
Carl, I'll just provide another quick note from an SCDOT perspective. You recall this past legislature, the General Assembly provided DOT with $120 million recurring in order to match new additional federal money coming from the bipartisan infrastructure law. We put some of that to work recently. At the end of each federal fiscal year, the federal highways folks kind of round up all of the unused federal monies from other state DOTs and offer it to DOTs that can use it. Obviously, a requirement for using that money and being able to pull it down is the ability to match it to appropriate projects that can be used, that can use that money. So we were able to pull down $190 million additional federal money to SCDOT, which is probably about roughly, my guess is double what we have been able to do in years past. We've got a strong pipeline of projects projects that are eligible for that money, and we have the match that was able for us, enabled us to pull that additional money down. So great news for keeping projects moving and the number of projects growing.
That is awesome. Good. Isn't it fun spending other people's money? We'll take it. That doesn't always happen. So congratulations. All right. What else we got? Anybody got an update? Are you thinking? I'm smelling something, Adam Vance. It looks like you're thinking.
Nothing earth shattering. Sorry, I joined late. I was on a advisory panel, if you could believe that, just a minute ago. But I enjoy the Friday tie, Carl. I don't know who you're going to meet today, and of course, Mr. Bogart and all the others. On the event side of things, just a lot of chamber stuff. Tuesday at Segra with Susan there, and I saw Craig and Lynn Hutto and others. And we're just on our event side. We're excited about the gala coming up for the chamber at Junction 800. I was on a site visit with Ashley and the team. And I think it's going to be a phenomenal facility for it. If anybody's not been, it's the former Jillian's right there in the Vista, plenty of parking and everything. And really not a whole lot. We'll do Gamecock Village again tomorrow. Go Gamecocks, and stop by and listen to the band, and lots of other events going on. So anyway, I just get kind of, happy when I see Carl and all the smiling faces on here. So thank you.
You need to get out more. I will tell you, I was so pleased last weekend. I went down to Soda City around 11 o'clock Saturday morning. And obviously we had a noon game at Georgia. So I was like, all right, it was packed. I mean, it was crazy. And I was like, there are 80,000 people at a football game right now, or more than that, probably 100,000. And Soda City was packed. So I was really blown away, just because obviously they weren't going to the game. But it's good to be out and about. So take advantage of everything that Columbia has to offer, because it really is kind of a fun time to be here. Go ahead, Adam.
One other thing, thanks for saying Soda City. So October 1st, it made me remember, we're bringing in a 17-foot by 10-foot LED wall that we did at Battle at Bull Street and others. It'll be for the Drive Electric demonstration there. And of course, we'll have all kinds of other content on the wall as well. But I think it's Washington and Main Street. So literally we pull it up on a trailer and jack it up. And I mean, you can put the sun right in front of it and see it clearly. But yeah, Soda City's got a lot of cool things going on outside of just the daily or the weekly Soda City. So thank you. October 1st, Soda City, Washington and Maine.
Got it. Hello, Pam. How are you?
Good morning, Carl, and good morning, everybody on the call. I have an announcement. The Comet is partnering with the South Carolina Restaurant and Lodging Association for Restaurant Week. And we're having an event on October 5th called Restaurant Week Hop with Pop. And for all of you familiar with movable feasts or progressive dinners, that's what we're going to be doing with our Soda Cat brand. And as you know, our Soda Cat brand goes through all of the business and entertainment districts, from 5 Points, Main Street, the Vista, West Columbia, Casey, I think, yeah, those 4, and and also the historic district. And so we'll be going to a restaurant in each of those districts to pick up a course of a meal.
That's awesome. I love progressive dinners. Great idea. Good partnership with you and Susan. I love that. That's good stuff.
Thank you.
Susan, you want to comment?
I was going to say, I wish I could take credit, but I'm sure, Pam, you've been working with Linza Jolly. And this is, Columbia specific restaurant week, and that's always exciting. We've already had one in the upstate. I believe Florence had one last week. Rock Hill had one maybe a month or so ago. But we'll have the full state again in January, and it's really not too early for people to start planning for that. And there are ways, just like this is an example, that other businesses can tie in. And I had a conversation with a lady in Greenville on Tuesday who only has a chocolate shop. And I shouldn't say it that way. That's her product, is chocolates. But she pairs them often with wines and liqueurs and things like that. And she was just raving about how well she did during restaurant week. And I think usually we all, expect it to be that full, 3-course dinner kind of option. But so I would say definitely talk with anybody here at the association, but especially Linza, on some ideas of what has worked, because it really gets not only the locals excited about the opportunity to go and try new things, but we are promoting that, and we do track how much outside visitors come in to attend those events. So again, retail benefits, hotels benefit, and we're excited for the partnership with Comet.
Yeah, thank you so much, Susan.
Great.
Hey, Carl, this is Lynn. Good morning, everybody.
Hello,
This is
friend.
a point of personal bitter celebration for my family and I. A few years ago, we lost my nephew, but recently the students at Wofford College raised funds to buy the naming rights of their new running track facility for their athletes. So if you visit after October 1st, you visit Wofford College, it will be the Jeremiah Tate running facility. So just
That's
wanted
awesome.
to say that. So that's a big deal for our family. So
Man, that's great.
it is great. Thank
That's
you.
terrific. Good. Thanks for sharing that. All right. Well, listen, we got a couple things next week. Tuesday, we are getting together with our friends at the West Columbia Chamber and the Lexington Chamber, along with the South Carolina Chamber of Commerce, to host an event on Tuesday morning. It's in the chat box, but come out. We're helping the state chamber come up with their legislative agenda for next year. So we'd love to have you there. Also, the first Tuesday of October, we're hosting a forum with the candidates for Richland 1. And I can't tell you a more important time to be thinking about school districts and how we are performing and the leadership of those boards. So we will need your participation there. So we'll be at the library again on the first Tuesday of the month. And anyway, there are tons of notes in the chat box, but we've got obviously the gala. We've got we're having a breakfast for General Kelly, the new CG at Jackson, coming up in October as well. By the way, we're not bored here at the chamber. So if you need something to do, just check out our website. We'd love to see you at any of our events. So, all right. Any other pearls of wisdom before I check out? Y'all have a great weekend. Thanks for being with us today. Y'all have fun this weekend, the beautiful weather, and drive in the left lane, not in the left lane, in the right lane for all of us driving the interstates this weekend. All right, and go USA in the President's Cup. All right, behave. We'll see you next week. Thank y'all.
Thank you.